Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, the movie lover here. Welcome to my list for the top 10 greatest video games ever made. I know I made a list like this a long time ago, but there pretty much are two video games that I wanted to put on this list now because I figured these two games were better than the other two games that were taken from this spot. So pretty much, or these spots, but anyways, you get the picture. So now I want to update that list and look back onto what I thought were the best games that I've ever played. Some of these games I have beaten, and some of them I haven't beaten, but I really want to be able to beat them because of how good they are by far. And yeah, guys, these are the 10 greatest video games I've ever played. None of these games can take their spots as what I personally thought were the best games ever made. So, guys, let us get into what I thought were the top 10 best video games of all time. Alright, guys, so let's start things off at number 10. Goldeneye 007 for the Nintendo 64 was a blast. This is without a doubt one of the best first-person shooters of all time. And for a game based off a movie that was 2 years old when this first came out, turned out to be a hit for both kids when they invited their friends over to play the multiplayer, which I haven't played the multiplayer, but after experiencing this game, I really want to because this game just had everything from, I mean, it doesn't have the greatest AI, but some of the AI can be hilarious sometimes, but it still makes for an incredible game. And if you own a Nintendo 64 and don't have this game, you're a monster. I'm just, but anyways, you just have to get this game because of how incredible it is, and it's definitely a game that hasn't really aged as well as some of the other classics that are on this list, but it's definitely one of the best and most entertaining games ever made. So yeah, guys. So let us move on with number 9, which has came out 3 years ago, but I don't care. I still thought it was the best in the franchise. Grand Theft Auto 5. I got this for Christmas last year along with the PlayStation 4, and I still think it's the best in the series. A lot of people say that San Andreas is the best in the series, and even though that is still a really awesome game, it's just the AI, which I thought this game had much better AI, and it really just has some of the best looking graphics in modern gaming. And I thought this was the best open world game I have ever played. It is really a really fun time with 3 playable characters, which I really like the 3 main characters of the game. It's just a blast to play these characters, and the missions were just so entertaining. I liked how when you get frustrated on a mission, you can either try playing it to see if you get any better, or you can just skip it like that. But all in all, I thought this was the best Grand Theft Auto game, and it definitely makes a spot on my list. I don't care if it's been out since 2013. It earns a spot on my list. Some of these games, or a lot of these games on this list, are modern, and so yeah, but I don't care. Still great games. But anyways, let's move on to number 8, which is not modern, or it came out at least 10 years ago. But anyways, number 8. Resident Evil 4 is one of the best third-person shooters ever. Arguably the best in the series. I am so glad that I actually have this game So glad that I played it. Even though there's no zombies in the game, you just fight off infected villagers, which are kind of like zombies, not really, but it's still really fun to play. Frustrating at times, but some AI in the game, like when you have to escort this girl, which can be difficult at sometimes because she's really annoying. But I don't care. That doesn't ruin the fact that it's still an awesome shooter. With the fact that it does struggle to get some limited ammo, but it has some of the best boss battles I have ever seen in video games. Out of all the Resident Evil games, this has the best looking graphics and the best story and the best playable character, Leon Kennedy, from the second game, who I thought was a much better character to play in this game than he was in the second game. But this is without a doubt the best in the series. And I know there's a GameCube version for this, but I found it for the PlayStation 2. How awesome is that? Alright, guys. Next up is a game that came out only a month ago, but the second game used to be my favorite in the series, but ever since I played this game, I thought it was the better one. Number 7 is Gears of War 4. You heard me. I don't care if it came out a month ago, it's still one of my favorite games of all time, and it definitely earns my number 7 spot. Yeah, I love the first 3 games, and since the second game was, I thought was the best in the series, but ever since I played this game, I honestly thought this was obviously the best in the series. The $60 was totally worth it, and the main character is still as awesome as the original main character, and it's still great to see Marcus Phoenix back in the game, and even though you don't play as him, it's still awesome to play as his son. I think his name was Jake, I believe, or I forgot what his name was. I think it might have been Jake or something, but I still thought this was the best Gears of War game. I played this in less than 12 hours. When I first got the game, I just immediately played it, and I was all like, yes, this is the best in the series, and the best, or in my opinion, the best game of the year. So guys, let's move on to number 6. One of the best video game sequels ever, Portal 2, brought the puzzle masterpiece that is the first Portal and brought it to a better story, a better everything, with a better antagonist. Not saying that GLaDOS was a bad antagonist, no, she is awesome in this game and in the first game. And we got a new antagonist. I mean, GLaDOS was the main villain in this game, but later on, it's this new character, Wheatley, who I think is one of the funniest and most dumbest video game characters ever, in a good way. I mean, really. I mean, it has some really good platforms in this, like when you have to just put the cube on the thing and just try to get through the portal. It just has a great story and just a memorable feel to it. Like when I was playing this game, I was all like this, and I've beaten this game twice now. Like on my Matthew D the Gamer channel, I made an entire walkthrough on it, and I've been playing co-op mode with a friend of mine, and we've been having a blast with this. But guys, play Portal 2. It was definitely a great follow-up to its predecessor. Alright guys, number 5 would probably have to be my favorite third-person shooter of all time. Number 5 is without a doubt The Last of Us. This is the best PlayStation game I have ever played. I have beaten this game 3 times, and it has never gotten old. You have two very likable main characters, and they are probably two of my most favorite video game characters of all time. 3 years this game came out. 3 years ago, same year as Grand Theft Auto 5. And this game I haven't heard of until Christmas when I got it along with PlayStation 4. If you don't know why I'm not holding the game right now, it is because I have it downloaded with a code for my PlayStation 4. It came with my PlayStation 4 and it was a code. It didn't come with the actual game. Pooh. But I don't care, alright? It's still great to have it. I mean, guys, play this game. I just couldn't believe how great the game was. It actually feels like a movie. It feels like you're playing and watching a movie at the same time. Just play The Last of Us. It's without a doubt one of the best games of all time and well deserving of my number 5 spot. Alright guys, we're getting into it. The next 4 best games of all time, for my opinion. And number 4, I have to have one of these games on here. I would just feel like an idiot if I didn't have any of these games on here. Number 4 is Super Mario World. There has to be a Mario game on here. This is without a doubt the best one in the series. From the Mushroom Kingdom to Dinosaur Land, which I guess you could kind of say it's prequel a little bit, but guys, this is without a doubt the best in the series. It's very fun, and when you get the cape, it feels like you're invincible when you have the cape. And without a doubt, playing, and when we get first introduced to Yoshi, it just feels like a blast, and it's definitely, without a doubt, definitely Mario's best game of all time. Without a doubt. I mean, the platforming to the level design, I mean, the graphics look absolutely incredible for 16-bit. If you have a Super Nintendo up in your attic and you have some games for it, please look for Super Mario World. It might just be in your attic somewhere. And if you do have a Super Nintendo and don't have this game, get it. Just go, get it. What are you doing here? If you have money, just go get it. Look for it somewhere on eBay, Amazon, Second Charles, your video game store. Just go get it. Alright guys, we're number 3. Let's move on to number 3, which, again, best in the series. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This game's incredible. You wanna know why? Because of the combat skill and just telling pretty much one of the best stories in the Legend of Zelda series. You know, just going from little boy Link to growing up into adult Link as the game goes on. And pretty much when you fight off Ganondorf, it pretty much gives in pretty much the best fight in the pretty much the best fight in Ganondorf. What am I saying here? The best Ganondorf fight pretty much out of all of them. I mean, this game just has everything through great combat skills, through incredible items, very memorable characters, and there is a 3DS version, which maybe one day I'll get. But guys, this definitely is a true masterpiece, and I definitely thought it was the best Zelda game of all time, right next to Wind Waker. Alright guys, number 2 is one of the most addicting video games of all time. I don't care if there isn't that much goals to it. I can pretty much play this anytime. This has got to be the best game that has aged well. Number 2 is Tetris. 30 years of addiction, and it just never gets old. This is the best puzzle video game I have ever played, and I pretty much think that all of us can agree with this. This game just... It doesn't matter how many versions of the game there are. I mean, it's still addicting either way. I pretty much like... It's just really hard to explain, but the Russians did a great job with this game, and it definitely holds up to this day, whether if you're playing it on the NES, or the Game Boy, or just playing different versions of the game. Probably not the Virtual Boy version, but it's still just awesome to play, and I can never get bored with this game. I just want to have a really good score. I always want to try to beat my score on this game multiple times, trying my best on it, and it definitely never gets old for me. Alright guys, this is the big one. It's time for me to look at my favorite video game of all time. I thought hard about this, on if this was going to be my favorite game of all time after playing it. But it definitely deserves my number one spot. My number one favorite video game of all time is Half-Life 2. This is the best video game sequel, first-person game I've ever played. It had everything I wanted out of a video game. An awesome main protagonist, and an awesome storyline, and some of the best AI in video game history. This was everything I wanted it to be. Some of the best looking video game graphics I have ever seen in video games. This definitely had it all. Through awesome storyline, through awesome first person mode, through awesome gadgets which you can play with either one of the gadgets or the weapons, and when I use the gravity gun, I just cannot stop using it. Half-Life 2 definitely deserves my spot for the best video game of all time. And I don't care if I played this game like yesterday, if I just beat the game yesterday. I don't care. I still thought it was the best video game of all time. So yeah, congratulations Half-Life 2. You get my award for the best video game of all time. So tell me guys, what are the best video games you've ever played? What are your top 10 favorite video games of all time? Leave a comment down below well, you know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Will there be a remake of this video in the future? No, I think I'm happy with this version of my top 10 best video games of all time list, along with my top 10 favorite movies of all time list, which I made a few months ago. That is it for this video, and I will see you guys later. Word out.